So you think it would be a mistake for Washington to assume that the European Union could carry the burden that the United States has been carrying, or let's say some of the policies that the US has been heavily engaged in this region?
I think in security matters is United States which lead all nations, all free nations, including all nations of European Union. This is the truth on that. United States, definitely they face problems. They have had the financial crisis. They have had many serious problems in economic crisis. But still, they have no problem to lead on security matters. And they are leading in security matters.
But in addition to security, I've also heard from some people who fear that maybe the United States should be more engaged still in democracy building, promoting rule of law, you know, these sort of questions, not only in Albania, but throughout the region. What is your view on this?
In my country, since the very beginning, United States were more involved than anyone else in building democracy building here. If I mentioned to you some of Albania's achievement in fighting corruption, all of them were done through the help of United States, USAID, and sponsored by US taxpayers. But this is one of the aspects. Mm-hmm. I think the United States, and I believe they are working the same in Kosovo. I believe they were the same, and no, they were the same in Macedonia. I know very well mm-hmm. how they started, even in 92, 93, to help in human rights, minority rights. That's I have not that impression that United States are focused on security. United States are focused mm-hmm. most of all in democratic standards.
And this should continue, you think?
Yes, of course.
Well, Mr. Prime Minister, my last question, I'd love to discuss all these issues in more depth, but maybe there'll be another time. My last question is a little bit more personal. Some people, quite a few people, have compared you, I would say, to Poland's Lech Wałęsa, to Czechoslovakia's Václav Havel, as you know, who passed away tragically recently, as one of the key leaders of Europe's democratic revolutions 21 years ago. However, if you look at the history, both Wałęsa and Havel retired from politics. After serving as national presidents, they opened up the space to new political actors, and at the same time, they raised their international stature. They became senior spokesmen, senior statesmen, if you like, for their countries. Many people have wondered, Mr. Prime Minister, again, a personal question, when are you planning to retire from active politics, to become an elder statesman for Albania? What are your plans?
It's true that I'm coming from the 90s. The Albania's movement, in some aspect, is a unique one. It's more resemblable to Czech one, but only in some aspects. As you know, Czech dissidency existed since 60s. In Albania, every human rights court have had to have death penalty. But what was similar to Czech model? One was very similar. In Prague, there were students of university which started the movement. The same was in Tirana. We were 1 year later, but heavy, influenced by Havel, by Velvet Way. So, like Czechs, we managed a peaceful transition, although in conditions much more difficult. Then I led the country. I lost the power. I lost the power mostly for a moral matter. The pyramid schemes developed. We knew nothing about, and this could be proved. But it comes a moment when I was obliged to tell Albanians that not a penny will be paid. A debt which is not higher never could be recognized. I told, a nation is like an individual. I have no moral to recognize a debt, and I was able to pay. If I decided, I was able to pay, but I have had no moral to take wrong money and to put right money for wrong money. That was my question. Right or wrong was my choice. My rival told, I will pay you every penny. So I left, I went in opposition. Not a penny was paid to Albanians. I came back, pursuing my aspiration, my projects. I will quit the day that Albanians won't vote me. And there is no one who will be more grateful to them than Sali Berisha for the trust that they had put in him, to him during all these years. This is my story. As for the moment, Albania, a developed country, is my most major project.
Okay, Mr. Prime Minister, thank you very much for an extremely informative interview. I'm sure I'll have you back on the show in the future for an in-depth political discussion, as we've now conducted. And I'd like to maintain the contact with you, so we'll have you back on the show. And I'm sure I have many other questions to ask you.
Thank you very much. It was a great pleasure for me to be here.
Thank you for being here. And in a moment, we'll be back with questions for me from the studio audience.